Hey, Drew. I just wanted to ask you about, the loss of Von Miller. This is a punch to the gut for the franchise, and I'm just wondering how you guys are, how dealing with it.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's a punch in the gut for everybody. Just knowing how good of a teammate he is and how good of a leader he is for this team, and personally for him, I talked to him a lot in the off season. He was gunning. He was ready to go. He was extremely excited. A new focus from Vaughn. I think when you almost get hit double digits, it kind of becomes real life for you. And he was excited. It definitely hurts our team, but spirits as far as just how much we care for the guy. But life goes on. He's going to work to get back on the field as fast as possible, and we got to work to win games. So.
Next up, Romy B.
Hey, Drew, looking at this, it's going to be your first, obviously, you're starting the season as a starter. I'm curious, just what are you most anxious about Monday night?
Probably just the first snap, getting it going. I'm excited. It's going to be different. Regardless if it was Monday night or Sunday or the Thursday night game this week, I think the thing you're most anxious about is to see how they come out and play you. First game of the year. Are they going to do a lot of stuff they did last year? Are they going to change it up? Who's playing in what spot? They just pick Clowney up. Where are they going to play him? I think that's what we're most anxious for. And then, we'll take it from there. But I'm just really excited to finally get on the field and stop playing against Vic's defense.
Next up, Nick Kosmider.
Yeah, Drew, the team kept 7 wide receivers because Tyreek Cleveland, 7th-round pick, went out and kind of earned that spot. What was your impression of him in camp and what he could bring eventually to that group?
Without a doubt, big and very physical, and smart. He's really good with the ball in space. He's just kind of what you look for. He's a big guy. Like I said, he's fast. When the ball gets delivered to him, you don't see very many drops from him. Very consistent. So he did play very well throughout camp, and we were all extremely impressed with the way he played. And like you said, I think he played enough to deserve that.
Next up, Mike Kliss.
Yeah, Drew, I don't think we got a chance to talk to you since your second practice at the stadium, which went much better than the first one. What do you attribute happened there? Why so much improvement?
I think it happened probably 2 days before that scrimmage. There's never really a moment in time where, there's just that one moment where it clicks and you don't understand why. I just felt going into that scrimmage that I knew where to go with the ball and every single play we were going to call. I just kind of refound some confidence in myself, and we came out. The guys around me made plays. We just clicked as an offense. We ended up rolling. We all got on the same page at the same time, and that's what you look for is in an offense. And when you're putting the game together, you want that from the defense as well at the same time. And when you both mesh and get rolling on the same day, that's when it turns out pretty good. And I feel like that's what we did. We just all got on the same page and we were rolling.
Next up, Ryan Holler.
Hey, Drew, you've been working with Justin Hoover for a long time now. This is off topic, but why does that relationship work so well? And what was your focus during the shutdown back in Kansas City?
Yeah, that relationship started when I was extremely young. So, one, that helps out a lot to where, when I go to throw with him, he doesn't necessarily, grind your gears on mechanics. He's very good about putting drills together to put me in awkward positions. And if it seems like on that throw it didn't look how I should normally look, he's seen it 100,000 times. There's no question that if he is to give me a coaching point that, that he's not right. He's 100% dialed into my mechanics, my stroke, when I throw it the best, to where, if I do have a couple off days, you can send him some clips, let him see, what it is I'm doing in the pocket or with my stroke, and send me a couple pointers here and there to where I can go back into that next week or that next practice ready to go.
Next up, Troy.
Drew, we know you're such a confident guy. Even when results aren't there, you stay confident. But at the outside, when you lose Vaughn, it siphons some of the optimism. How do you avoid putting even more pressure on you in what has been a weird off season, your first full year as a starter? So how do you balance that while wanting to prove that this offense can carry the weight?
Yeah, I think I can't put, an extra amount of pressure on myself. It really comes down to this whole team, making one more play because Vaughn's not there to make that play. And whether that's me making a couple more plays or Corlin making a couple more plays or Melvin or Phil, Noah, it's just going to come down to us, playing at that A level, but playing at an A+ level. You just got to take it one step further. Not that we wouldn't try to do that every single week with Vaughn, but it just makes it a little more evident because there might be a couple sacks that we'll miss out on the season without him being out there. So if that means the offense is going to be on the field against us a little longer, then, we got to go put a drive together. There's just going to be certain situations that pop up in a season when you don't have him that we got to be ready for. And it's going to take every aspect of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. Special teams can even pick up some of the plays as well. So, yes, it does hurt. I'm more upset for him rather than, feeling sorrow for our team and not having him. I'm just more hurt for him because of how hard he was working to get out there and be the best Vaughn he could be.
Next up, Andrew Mason.
Speaking of Vaughn, Drew, what have you learned from leadership and locker room presence from being around Von Miller the last year?
I think one of the coolest things that he did for me when I came in was just talk to me. We come in and, I was obviously wide-eyed when I saw Vaughn for the first time. And, you hear about, old vets, leave him alone for a second, let him come up to you. And I think the first time I came in the locker room, he came right up to me and started talking to me. So I feel like being a quarterback of the offense, you try to do that to the rookies when you come in. And if Vaughn wouldn't have done that to me, I would have thought that, maybe it is you let the rookies, work their way and then you end up talking to them. But when Vaughn came up to me that first day and right off the bat, it kind of set the tone for me going into this year on how I would treat the rookies coming in this year. The more they can feel comfortable, the better they'll go out there and play. And if that means me going out and having conversations with them before the practice in the locker room or in the cafeteria, then that's what it has to be to help them feel comfortable and welcome to this team.
Okay. Guys, time for a few more. Next up, Brandon.
Drew, I kind of have a sort of two-part question. One, when you were at home working through all this, did you think we'd get to the point where we would be playing football this season? And then two, what are you most excited about now that the season is upon us and we are going to have NFL football?
Yeah, I think we were pretty unsure about, what was going to officially take place once we all got here. But I think after having about 2 weeks of, testing and nothing really happening, not only for us, but around the league, I was like, all right, I think this can actually work. It's going to be different when we travel and, staying responsible and staying, locked into what it is we're here to do, and that is to play football. But the most exciting part about going into this year is just being able to make, those memories with the guys going into these games. I'm excited to finally compete against someone other than, guys in orange and blue. Finally being able to go out there, make the plays when they're there, scramble around a little bit, deliver the ball, watch guys make plays. Just being able to finally have a little competitive spirit against someone other than the Broncos is going to be awesome.
Woody, do you have one?
Yeah. Drew, this is sort of two-parter. A national pro football focus called you the worst starting quarterback in the league. Does that motivate you, offend you, not bother you at all? And the second part of that is seeing another quarterback this week in Houston get $160 million. Does that motivate you? When you think about those two situations, what's your response to them?
Well, the first one, I wouldn't have known about it unless you brought it up. So I try to stay out of I try to stay out of the situations that don't involve anything that's in this locker room with the coaches and with this team. I'm not sure who wrote it, but their opinion is their opinion, and quite honestly, it's not going to affect me going out and practicing and playing this weekend. So I'm going to leave it at that. And second off, yeah, quarterback money keeps going up, but thinking about money down the road isn't going to help me on Monday, win this game and better yet this season. I gotta earn that type of money first, and just winning 4 of my 5 games in a rookie season won't do that. So I got to go out there and keep playing and be great for this team.
Last two, Eric Dalala, Kyle Newman. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, Drew, when you think back to your first start against the Chargers to now, is there something you've taken the biggest step in, whether that's mechanics, understanding of defenses, how comfortable you are just playing against that sort of speed? What would you point to as kind of the biggest step you've taken?
I think it comes to preparation before a game and even a practice, because you try to treat all these practices like a game when because of COVID we didn't have very many practices. But I would think preparation, just having those 5 games last year, knowing what it's going to take for me to go in and play my best game. That first game, it was kind of a crapshoot at the beginning on how I wanted to prep and how I wanted to be ready and what it took to truly be ready mentally and physically. To where I got to that 5th game, I kind of had a repetition down now, and I definitely didn't forget it going into this first game. I'll try to keep that rolling and just really be the most ready I can be. And I feel like having those reps last year really helped me this year going into this first game.
Finish this off, Kyle.
Sure, obviously you can't replace a guy like Vaughn, but what's the team's overall confidence, in the depth at linebacker, and especially with what Jerry Atashu and Malik Reed showed last year?
Yeah, Jerry and Malik are going to be great for us. We're excited for them. I know they're going to, answer the bell. They're going to come out there, play their best they can, and be ready, as if their life depended on it, because that's pretty much, they got to come out, they got to play, they got a ball, they got to be ready. And I know we're going to have their back as a team, as a defense, as an offense, like I said, as a special teams guy. But in the end, we're all really upset that Vaughn is in the situation that he is. Again, for him, not necessarily sorry for us, but we're going to have to come out there and make plays and go get it.